So in this training, we're going to cover off the master numbers reporting sheet. So it's super critical that you're doing this weekly in your business so that you can identify where the bottlenecks are, what's working, and what's not working. It's really easy to set up. So there's 2 tabs here that I'm going to take you through. If you ever get stuck to the point where you're not sure what you need to be filling in, then you can head down on our website or scroll down underneath this video. If you're already there, you can book a call and we can either go through the results or I can help you set it up so that you can actually put in those numbers for your business. So feel free to reach out if you get stuck, but hopefully this video will show you everything that you need. So we've got a setup and a dashboard. So you want to go to your setup first and make sure you fill out the information here because it's going to use that in the calculations. The first thing that you want to do is set the reporting start date. So this is going to be a weekly report that you run. Now, you see there that there's a note that says choose a Monday. I would suggest you either choose a Monday or choose the first day of the year, because essentially what we're going to do with our reporting and the way we work here at Summit is we use a waves-based system. So everyone that comes through on your intro offer gets assigned a particular wave, and that wave is just based on when they start. So if you started in week 2 of the year, then you would be wave 2, and so on and so forth. So I've set it here for the 1st of January. Otherwise, you can double click on that cell and then choose a date from the calendar. Either a Monday works well because then that will stay in the week format for the waves, or pick the first day of the year. Next, you need to know your starting membership number. So this is basically how many members you have in the gym. So in this example here, we're just going to do 100, nice and easy. Underneath that, we have your low barrier entry offer and your lifetime value of your clients. So you need to work out, first of all, what the average lifetime value of your customers or your members are. And essentially you do this by working out the average duration that they're a member for and then the weekly average price that they pay. Now, as long as you calculate that once, you'll have an average of the details there for the rest of your reporting. So let's just say in this example, the average duration is 9 months and they pay $60 a week. Pretty conservative, pretty achievable. Now, in a perfect world, you're updating this as you go through the months to work out, hopefully, that your customer lifetime value is increasing as you start to implement some of the other systems. But worst case scenario, just drag that down so that you've at least got some data there that you can input. Next, we're going to input the price of your low barrier entry offer for the particular month that you're reporting. So obviously your offer might change month to month. So in this example, we're just going to do a 28-day challenge in January, and then we'll make the price $199. The price is the most critical point. The detail there is just a bit of a reference for you, but you might change that each month. So you might run an 8-week challenge in Feb as an example, and then put the total price they're going to pay. So if it's 8 weeks and they're doing it in installments, say it's $60 a week, then you'd put $480 because that's the total amount that you're going to net from that low barrier entry offer. So it just depends how you've structured it, but there's a brief example. Once you've filled that out, and I won't worry about the rest of it there, then you can come across to your actual dashboard itself. So you'll see here that the start date auto-populates, and then it will tell you what wave that they are in based on that week number. So if you put something there that was on an odd number, then the waves may be a little bit skewed and you might double up. So that's why it's best to put it at the start of the week. Now, there's some data already in there, and we'll go through together putting in a week's data. But the key things to note are that any row that is highlighted in bold is going to be an automatic calculation. So that's something that you don't actually need to fill out. The system is going to automatically do that for you. Any of the color coding as well, the traffic light, red light, green light, that'll also be done for you. So your total members, we obviously put that in at the start, so it automatically populates. We can leave that blank. Next, we've got your weekly ad spend, and this is just the total amount that you've spent on Facebook ads. So let's say we spent $500 that week, and we had 25 leads. So you'll see that automatically calculates your ad spend cost per lead, and some of the other things start to populate, which we'll do fully in a second. Your other leads are your leads from alternate sources. So these might be walk-ins in the gym, phone inquiries, website inquiries. If somebody sends you a message on Facebook that's not directly from the ad itself, but they may have been inquiring, they may have seen the ad, then you put these leads here, and you should also be adding them to your pipeline. So this just is to track as well the money that we're spending here. We often see a increase in the other leads as well, so the organic leads. So let's say we had 4 other inquiries as an example. So we had 25 leads for the week, and then next we're going to record how many sales we made. Now here's one point in a bit of a fork in the road for how you do your reporting. The way I like to do it, it's cleaner and you can track your metrics from the actual wave itself. So this would be how many sales you made from the leads that you got that week. So in this example here, we had 25 leads, and let's say that we've sold 10 of those leads. That's automatically going to calculate our sales conversion, and then we're also going to put in how many people we've rolled over into full paying members. So the same deal here. If in a perfect world, the way I suggest it, which means that you're going to have sort of backdated reporting for some sections, is that your rollovers are based on the amount of sales that you made here. So that's why when your sales get assigned to a wave, you can see how many people you've actually rolled over from that wave, and all of the metrics from your ad spend to your leads to your sales are all reflective of that same amount, and it's all relevant. If you just do your rollovers for the week, you may get in a situation where if you rolled over, say, 15 people, that's going to give you a rollover percentage of 150%, which is not correct. It may be correct for that week, but your rollover percentage is going to be skewed. So that's why I prefer to track it based on the sales. It just means that this number you might input 4 weeks' time once your 4-week intro offer has expired. So hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to just assume here that we converted 7 out of those 10 sales eventually into our full paying, full price contracted memberships. So then we hit our rollover percentage of 70%, which is perfect. That's the amount we're aiming for there. Next thing we're going to track is your weekly attendance. So this is the total attendance across all your members in the studio. So it's going to depend on your CRM. You'll have to run a quick report, a quick attendance report, and it's also super important that you're accurately checking members in the gym. So that puts a bit of responsibility back on the trainers to make sure that your system there for booking people in is on the money so that this number's accurate. So let's say in this example here that we had 410 as an example, and then our weekly average visits will automatically populate. So that's 3.98 per member. So again, this is a reflection of how many times your members are coming to the gym on average. And the lower this is, the less results that you're going to get for your members. And it also means that they're not actually wanting, or that there's something that's stopping them from coming in. So whether it's a problem with your program itself, they're not enjoying it, or they just don't have the accountability to bump them up to increase that attendance. So that's why that number is really important. If you're averaging under 3 visits per member, then you've got a really big problem, because it means a lot of your members are in that low end of the attendance scale and they're at high risk for cancels. So that's a good metric just to be tracking to see how your program is actually running. Next, we're going to look at our weekly cancels. So that's how many people have cancelled in the week. So let's say we've had a really good week, we've had no cancels, and then cancels month to date is just whatever month you're in to calculate your monthly churn. So that's just going to carry over from that 6 because we haven't actually had any extra cancels. So our monthly churn is sitting at 6%. And now we've filled in all the data that we need to. So we've had a net positive week of 7, which is a great week. We want to make sure that we're trying to be net positive each week, because if you're staying still or you're going backwards, your gym's not growing, you're losing money. So the goal there is to be net positive. And then we can scroll down and have a look at some of our confidence metrics. So the confidence metrics, these are going to pre-populate automatically for you. That's going to be based on your low barrier sales price, which we've already filled out, and our lifetime value of our member, which we've already filled out on that page before, to show you if you're making a profit on the front end and also if you're making a profit in the long time that is actually worth the amount of effort that you're putting into the system. So if we go through, our average cost per lead takes into consideration the leads that we got from our paid advertising with the leads that we've got from our organic sources divided by the amount that we've spent in our advertising. So our average cost per lead comes down to $17. Next, we've got the cost to acquire a low barrier entry offer. So based on our sales conversion here and the amount that we've spent on ads, it's costing us $50 to acquire someone on that intro offer on that LBE. And that's perfect with these numbers here because that far outweighs the cost that we get from them from that sale price. So the goal is obviously to be making a profit on the front end. At the minimum, we're trying to break even, but if we can generate a profit, it also gives you extra scope in your business to scale. It allows you to then hire someone that can do the sales and you can pay them a commission that's also going to come out of this low barrier sales price to still at least be even on the front end. So you've got $140 that you can play with. You can give someone a job to make sales for you and charge them $60 a commission and still be making money on the front end. So that's a really profitable system. And it's why your LBE sales price needs to be discounted from your overall price that would normally be charged, but still at a price high enough that you do generate that front end profit. So that's a green tick there. And then we scroll down a little bit further, we've got cost per member acquired. So this takes into consideration the amount it cost us to acquire that low barrier sales offer, and then the conversion that we're doing rolling them over, so the 70%. So it works out that it's costing us $71 in this example to acquire a new member. That's a really great result as well, because it means that we're acquiring members cheaper than our LBE sale price. Now, don't be concerned if it goes a little bit higher than that, but overall, we don't want that number to creep up, and that's going to be a direct correlation to your rollover percentage. We've got our lifetime value of our member, which we've already calculated, and next, that's going to calculate our gross return on investment. So if we've created 7 new members, we know that where the lifetime value is $2,000, then that's $17,000 worth of gross return or gross profit that you're going to be making in your business, which seems amazing. That number is amazing, but what we've got to consider is the other fixed hard costs in your business, which is why I say you want to be aiming for at least a 10-time return on investment, because that number isn't taking into consideration the wages that you have to pay your staff, the sales commissions. If you're part of the business accelerator program, obviously that's an expense for you, your rent. There's all these associated costs with running your business. So we really want to be making more than 10 times the return on the investment to know that we're covering all those time and money costs associated. So 10 times is the metric there that we're looking for. So we can see here that 35, that is a really good result, and we know that we can scale confidently. So you'll see here that really the key things that impact your business are these yellow numbers, and these are why they're our KPI metrics from the beginning. So $25 as a cost per lead is the target metric there, and this is going to fluctuate slightly based on where you're located. So if you're in a really densely populated area, you're in a CBD and you've got lots of competition in your gyms, then the cost per lead is going to increase a little bit. So even with that competition, you should be aiming for no more than $30 cost per lead. Next, we've got our sales conversion, and 30% is our benchmark there. Now, a lot of people, once they start to implement systems around a sales script, sales objection handling, and they really refine that process, 30% would be what they would then consider low. So it's 50, even up to 60% is realistic once you put the effort in to really nail your sales conversion rate. But you can see here, even if you have a really good cost per lead, even if you have a really good rollover conversion, if your sales conversion is low, you're not going to be net gaining members, and you're not going to be making a profit on the front end, and you're not going to be making a profit on the back end. And then obviously the other numbers there, your rollover percentage is going to heavily impact the back end profit. So it's not going to impact your front end profit. So you can keep running ads, but if your rollover percentage is low, then you've either got a problem with the process to follow up and actually transition people into the program, or people just aren't getting results and people don't like your program that you're offering, the training, the environment, and you need to have a look at if something's broken in that system. So there's two possible things that could be going wrong there, and that's the same with your monthly churn. People are always going to quit, people are always going to cancel, they're going to move, they're going to relocate, and there's a lot of situations that are outside of your control. But the two things that you can control that are the biggest impact in monthly churn is getting your clients results and building a community that they want to stick around in. So that is what your monthly churn is the biggest reflection of, and you should be aiming for 5% or less. So hopefully that gives you an overview of how to use this sheet. This is something that you want to be doing weekly so that you can track ongoing, make sure that you've got the confidence that the money that you're putting in for your Facebook spend is actually bringing you money. And once you know it is, then you can suddenly start to increase this weekly ad spend with confidence, because you know that you're going to get that money back straight away from the sales that you make, and you can grow your gym a lot quicker as opposed to spending $5 a day, $10 a day, getting one lead every 2 or 3 days and never actually growing your business. So that's the numbers reporting. If you have any questions, then just scroll down if you're on the website to the bottom of the page, and there's the opportunity to book a call where I'm happy to go over this with you. If you need a hand improving some of these numbers and you just want the shortcut, you want the systems and the tools, you want the drag and drop, play-by-play structures that we've already got set up, then I'd love to have a chat to you about the business accelerator as well and how that might work for your business. So link down there as well.